Hello traders, how are you? Vladimir Ribakov here from Traders Academy Club, and this is the Forex Weekly Outlook for the week starting of 26 till the 31st of August 2018. Believe it or not, this is the last week, the official week of the summer. First of all, before we start, thank you very much for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it and you benefit from it. If you enjoyed the videos, please show your support back. Hit the like button, drop some feedback on the comment section. Let me know what you think about the videos. Let me know if there is any instrument that you want me to cover. I, as always, cover the ones that I expect to be interesting, and making a follow-up on the previous week outlook that we had, what follows, what not, what worked, what failed, and how it develops since. So that's all, of course, what we will be doing also today. Let's begin. Just one note, on Monday I will be publishing the PDF version to the Outlook. So just come back to the video, and on the description below my video you would find the link, okay, for the PDF. So just come back on Monday to the video and you get that, or just follow up the emails of the newsletter, as I will be emailing it as well. So let's quickly go over the previous week PDF. This is how our PDFs look like. Quick follow up on our list, what we are doing, what we were looking to do. So the euro dollar, our goal was look to buy the dip. So basically we wanted to get the rallies, and the euro dollar, well, basically that's exactly what it got us, right? So where is my pen? Here is my pen. So that's what the euro dollar get us: the first move, the correction, and the second move. Now here comes the question. Oh, okay, so what's next? And I would not be surprised if the euro continues higher, but I would be careful for the beginning of the week. For one reason, this becomes, as I can see here, okay, this is approaching slowly towards the critical zone. This area is surrounding the 117. This is a clearance area, it's cleaning it now. So I believe that the beginning of the week might remain still bullish. After that, I do expect some kind of correction. It might go and complete here kind of a triple cycle. Start little pullback. Pullback could be in two waves and continuation, or pull back. Me and my words getting confusing. I'm sorry guys, it's 11 p.m. And I'm recording this video a bit earlier. It's Friday here in Toronto. I'm recording this video because I would not be able to do it on the weekend, so I prefer to do it right now. So I'm sorry if my words are mixing up a bit. So I'll try again. It should be good now. So pull back, here we go. Could be in one of the two variations, two waves retrace. This is what we call the corrective cycle, or a range, right? That's the two variations, the most popular variations we have for corrective cycles, and that's what I would expect for the euro dollar. Once it's completed, and as long as the last low holds, I think the euro dollar should continue further. Now for the top, if we take a look on the, where is our crystal? Okay, for Crystal Ball, keep an eye on the 27, why it's not, oh, because it's a black color, 27, 28. These days should be tricky. So that's, as I said, on the beginning of the week, I expect the momentum to continue, and we should get some kind of correction after that before the next rallies will continue. Basically, let's go back to the roots. We are after this cycle. Well, I need to change color again. Just a second. Here we go. after this cycle that we got, right? We got a range and we got another leg, so we require here 2 waves correction. So the bottom line for the euro dollar, it's bullish correction, most likely bullish again. So that's our euro dollar. The pound dollar, we were expecting to get a new low to go for buys, which never happened, right? That was our plan, to get a new low and start buying. Never happened yet. What did happen at that moment here is higher highs. So we, the best scenario technically would be if we really could get one more. Oh, maybe we still will. Something like that, right? And a buy. But as for now, we never got it. So instead, we did have the false break. We did have the convergence principle, and the expectations for a pound dollar, from my point of view, are still buy drops. Even if that means we are for one double wave down for a new low, it's still a buy. If that would be small one to hold here, it's still a buy. So the whole idea here is get the correction and look for the buy setups, even if that means a new low. So one more drop, whenever whatever the way it forms itself, whatever the structure would be, new low or just a little push, we will be looking for bullish evidences and go for buys. The way I see that, the pound dollar should start its correction at least towards the 129.70, which is basically 130 psychological area, and very likely after that to bigger level, to start cleaning highs. So for me, dips and buys still remains the plan for the pound dollar. Next one on the list was the euro versus the pound, a pair that we wanted to basically see a new high, right, to make a push to the upside. So far, so good. So it's reaching the area. Now this area is very critical because it is sitting right on the 161 expansion of this cycle, and it's making here kind of a special cycle. So we did have one false break before, we might get another false break right here, but remember, in order to become bearish, we require this trendline breakout. Once it broke, it's a sell. So now we are on critical levels. If we want to match the daily with short-term retraces to begin, then the 4 hour should fit in as well. So the 4 hour has to do something like that for us, and then we can start looking for lower lows and sell rallies. Okay, but as long as it did not happen, the pressure basically remains bullish, and who knows, maybe we are going to clean all the way towards 0.92 before, right, the 261.8 before it starts to make it, and kind of a double top on the weekly. Definitely a possible scenario by itself. At this stage, we never got trendline broken, so with all the wish to go for sell, and I am looking to go for sell for this pair because of the weekly cycle, but there is no evidence. And if there is no evidence, the wishes, as for now, remain as wishes. Remember, we as traders, we never trade wishes, we trade facts. Okay? Alright, so that's for the euro versus the pound. So far so good. Dollar yen, our goal was to look for sells, right? And we wanted to see at least 110 to be reached again, and ideally as low as to the 109. That was our plan, and dollar yen was beautifully bearish during the week for us, as we wanted to see, as we planned. Crossed below the 110, right? Crossed below, reached the 109 area, never the figure number, but the 109 zone in between 109 to 110. Completed a false break of the alternative trend line, and basically showing here an idea of the buys. This Fallback is not does not have the divergence on the moving on the histogram, but it does have little divergence on the moving averages, which make it valid. So the biggest question is what's now, and here comes the situation which we need to call the name as it is. It becomes to this place where it's completely 50-50. So the plan was bearish and it worked. Now it's not bearish and it's not bullish clearly, and here is why. Because the last daily movement is now in a corrective cycle. It completed 2 waves to the downside, so far so good. 4-hour chart is making by itself triple and might be doing a corrective cycle like a double, vice versa, right? And a weekly is also at the middle of nowhere, because the last divergence is bearish hidden, but we can easily get one more high for some continuing divergence. So we have too many scenarios for the dollar yen, and honestly I wouldn't rush to deal with that. It could very possibly turn to be some kind of a range here, so something like that. This is a possible scenario, but I can't say I love that pair too much at the moment it turned to be. Our plan to the sell on the last couple of weeks turned to be beautifully correct, paid beautifully, and now it's time to say, okay, so it's not clear, I stay as it is. For me, I would be looking, from my point of view, I'm neutral, yeah, but if I would be looking to trade that, I would be looking to do something like that. 1, 2, 3, back to this area somewhere. From there, some kind of correction, and very likely one more rally. That's the way I think it should go. Definitely not the sexiest pair to work with. Dollar CAD, our long-term plan is still get new high, but we wanted on the short term to get a new low and to sell the rallies, right? That was our plan. So let's see what this one did. Well, so far exactly what we wanted. We got the new low, we got the rally, we got a sell. So the biggest question is what's next. And once again, I do want to see this pair making this situation here, right? Or at least trying to fight the double bottom before the rally takes place. So I think we can still get new lows continuing, as long as this high holds. My plan is still basically short-term sells until it hits and holds the double bottom or goes all the way towards 129, 128, which is the cycle according to the daily, and has a big trend line right there. Okay, so that's the view, and if we break above the invalidation, which I just showed, it's a situation of leave me alone. Euro Canadian, our plan was looking for the buys, and that were our targets. The destination we wanted to reach was 150 area approximately, and EURCAD worked out probably the best this week. It did exactly what we wanted, and it reached now a big V on our target. So what's next? I still think the EURCAD is going to do something like that on a daily before it goes for sell. And in order to be able to trade that, we need to check the lower time frames. Lower time frames, we have the critical area right here. It's also clearance zone. So I believe if we approach this area from 152 plus, we would be looking for corrections and one more rally. That's the way I would be looking to trade the EUROCAD. Now the corrections from this zone could be in 2 waves, or it could be, remember, as a range, right? Something like that, and one more rally. Also a possibility. So far so good with the EUROCAD. New Zealandian Canadian, we wanted also to see the retraces happening. Our destination was 087.20 up to 60, and we got it exactly on the place where we wanted. The top is actually 087.60 zone that we wanted to see. So the question is, what's next? Now, according to weekly and monthly cycles, we are after sells, meaning daily should be corrective cycle. The way it forms right now, I would expect something like that for a sell. Daily is forming a bearish hidden divergence, which means 4-hour chart must be a classical corrective cycle, and we can't really say we have anything beautiful here. The divergence is between these two spots, right? But this high has nothing to do with divergence, so it becomes very, very, very tricky. And for me, it's still kind of a neutral, I would say. I would not be surprised to see the Kiwi cat fighting, trying to make one more push before the sells happen. So the way I see that, we should be looking for sells, but very likely after further push. So if we take the last leg, which is this, right, we do want, because this is the last leg that has the divergence, so we do want to reach the corrective cycle here, and that's our zone before we are after selling again. So that's the way I would be looking to trade it. So if it develops something like a range here, that might be the further continuation up short term before it switches bearish. So previous week plan worked charming, and now I would be a bit more careful because the conditions are a bit different. Aussie Kiwi, our plan was sell the short-term correction, and we got it by the book. Actually, that was the plan. We got a little pullback here and beautiful move down. So what do we have now? We have two waves correction. We have bullish divergence. It seems like game over. We should be looking again for buys, and that's my view basically. So one more attempt for low this area by ideal, and we are after buys. Why don't we buy all already? Well, for one reason mainly, is because the previous two waves should get kind of angled. So I think that's how it should work, back to this area before the next rallies take place. So on the short term, I would not be surprised if we get one more low here until the divergence is completed, and then buys. So new lows, buys. That's the bottom line. Lows, buys. Okay, if we get them. If we don't get them, we will be waiting for better setup, right? Better proof for the buy. So that's my view here. Lows, looking for the buys with bullish evidence. The next one is pound franc. We wanted little rally and sell. Actually didn't check this one. Yeah, well, so far so good. We got the rally, right? 1, 2, and we are going for sell. So meanwhile, the pair is still bearish short term. I suspect that as close as we get 125 minus, we should be looking for the divergence to form and start looking for the buys. Don't forget that this is the classical cycle duplication here, and each of the legs seems to be a cycle by itself. So if we can get it here, we might fly. Meanwhile, the current pressure is still bearish. If you miss the train, no worries at all. Wait for the lows to create and you will get your buy later. Okay, so it was beautifully Aussie dollar. We wanted to see drops and buys. So far, so good. We got the drop, we got a buy. I must say I am not a big fan of that bullish hidden divergence for one reason. The 1 hour chart, not classical divergence on the drop, and the drop was too sharp. So I would prefer to see what's going from here. For me, the idea remains the same. The idea remains the same as long as we are holding the invalidation. Aussie dollar is bullish. So looking for bullish setup with retraces is the right thing to do from my point of view, as long as the low holds. Now, if you remember on the Aussie dollar, actually we don't have it here. Nah, I didn't include in the PDF, but you can check the previous week video. We wanted to see the Aussie dollar according to the days, right? Remember, 21st, 24. Now look exactly where we got the low. That's where the statistical with the Forex Crystal Ball, that's where the power of it comes in. It's right there. So the drop count, boom, exactly with the beautiful bounce. The way I see that, we're still bullish as long as the last low holds. That's fundamental, not interesting. Okay, Aussie franc, same story. We wanted to see drop and buys. We got the drop, even cleaned the low. So we have a beautiful level. Definitely possible to start looking for drops and buys. Drops could be also, by the way, to new low. No problem at all with that. It could be in any variation. So small one or deeper one and rally. No problem with it at all. Wherever we get the bullish evidence, we would be looking to attack. Pound New Zealandian, our goal was a bearish sell the rally to the bottom of the range. So far, so good, and we are still in that mode, unchanged. As long as the structure holds, the idea is sell. This is the invalidation. New Zealandian dollar, our plan was drops and buys. So far, again, so good. We got the drops. We should be looking for the buys. Our invalidation becomes here, right? The last divergence from the daily is bullish. 4 hours is one leg, so we would not, I think it can easily make something like that and another push or something like that and push. There should be better correction and it should clean this area. All right, gold. Gold, we were short-term buys, and so far so good. We got it. This was leg number 1, and now we got leg number 2, right? So basically, exactly as we wanted to see. This was our plan. We wanted to see the 12.05 approximately, and we are there, right here. So the question is, what's next? Are we for sells or already? In order to continue with the sell, daily must be bearish divergence, which it is, developing into bearish hidden. 4 hour must be double wave correction, which it is. And then that's where the 1 hour chart must fit in to validate the 4 hour chart cycle, and it doesn't. So I would not be surprised if the gold can continue slightly higher to start making some kind of false breaks, lower lows, and sells. So the way I see that, as for now, if this is our area, this is where we should be playing, or slightly next one, before we are switching again for bearish. Okay, meanwhile it's still bullish as long as we don't have this trio, 3 time frames synchronization. Our plan remains short-term buys. DAX, our plan was bearish sell the rallies. Now because the DAX has bullish divergence, where is it? Here. Because the DAX has bullish divergence on a daily, we are waiting for daily bearish hidden and sell, or for our chart 2 waves and sell, corrective cycle. As for now, it's only 1 cycle, so if we get the second one, we are bearish. NASDAQ, we were waiting for a new low to be created before we start looking to sell the rallies, and it never happened. Right here, never broke. So the way it looks right now, we are after one more false break on the NASDAQ around the psychological level of 7,500. Sugar, we are after buys around the level of 10. We are waiting for the setup, and sugar got us right here. We are on the level. We never got any higher high yet, so we're waiting for that. So it could make one high here and buys, or it can make one more false break, right, and buys. So that's basically still the same plan. Ethereum versus the Bitcoin, we wanted to see new low, which we have, right? That was our plan here. Sell the rallies, we got a rally, we got new low. So now we are waiting for the turnaround. Turnaround very likely would happen somewhere here. We are waiting for higher high. Let me just make it clearer. We are waiting for higher highs and buy retraces. The Bitcoin, we wanted to see the buy the bottom of the range. We never got it on the bottom of the range. We got Bitcoin here. We got it here. That was our plan, right? The bottom of the range. We never got it, so it was blocking it right here. So there was no real buy opportunity. The way it behaves right now, clearly not cool from my point of view. I'm neutral here. And Ripple, I was looking to get a triple cycle and then buy dips. Never got a triple cycle, so the plan is invalidating as for now. So the question is now, what are the new pairs on the list? Well, honestly, we have more than enough, as you just saw. I wouldn't expose myself to more. I would recommend to pay attention to pound Canadian, making one more low for divergence and buys. This is a pair I love. And I would be paying attention to the euro versus the Aussie, which has reached the area of 61.8. The 4-hour chart still doesn't really confirm nothing, even though it's extreme divergence, right? MACD is on completely new high, RSI above 80. It is extreme divergence, so it's basically the possible end of the bulls is there, and this is our trend line. So if we can get below that, making the trend line breakout lower lows, we are after sell the rallies. So these are the two pairs I would be paying attention to, besides all the follow-up which we just have. Keep in mind that this is the last trading week of August. The volumes might be very low. The moves could be very short term, so don't go and expose yourself to big risks. The best thing in such situation is work in the principle of trio. 3 time frames confirmations. When the 3 time frames confirmation have the same direction without obstacles, again, like the opposite divergences against you or opposite signs against you, you are free to go. But it has to be the trio. If not, there is a great chance you are going to be exposed to inner zigzags, which you really would want to avoid. That's all for this week. I wish you a wonderful trading week. Thank you very much for watching this video. Feel free to share this video with anyone who you believe can have a benefit by watching it. If you enjoyed, drop your like and your feedback. It would be very much appreciated and very big help to us to get the exposure. And that's all. Wonderful trading week. Thank you for your time watching this video, and I wish you only the best. Vladimir Ribakov, Traders Academy Club. Happy weekend and trading week.